Welcome to another episode of my Kyrgyzstan travels. From the excitement of Independence Day to visiting our first livestock market, hitchhiking with kind-hearted locals and camping in the most surreal areas, this video will be filled with unforgettable moments, so let's dive right in. We woke up on the 31st of August thinking it would be a normal day, only to find out that it is Kyrgyzstan's Independence Day. Kyrgyzstan was part of the Soviet Union for almost 70 years, gaining independence in August 1991. Russian is to this day an official language that is widely spoken throughout the whole country. The Independence Day is celebrated everywhere in Kyrgyzstan, with the biggest event happening in its capital, Bishkek. We were excited to find out that there would be a parade in Kochkor as well, and even though we didn't understand a word, it was still interesting to see it and witness the atmosphere of this little town coming to life. After the parade was done, we made our way to the livestock market that is happening every Saturday. We have made it to the animal market, and as you can see, I'm surrounded by a bunch of horses. It's a bit stressful. I'm constantly scared that a horse will kick, but most of them are pretty calm. The market is divided into different sections, and you can find literally any farm animal you can imagine here. We made our way through the chaos, careful to not be kicked or run into. It was honestly quite overwhelming being surrounded by so many animals. It looked like we were the only tourists there, attracting quite a few looks from confused locals. Through some conversations, we learned that many people are farmers from the surrounding areas, some driving many hours each Saturday to make some money off their animals.
How much is a horse? How much some?
$1,000.
$1,000?
$1,000.
1000?
We are back in our homestay and just packed our bags, and the plan is to hitchhike to a small town on the south shore of the Isikul Lake and to find a camping spot there. It's very hard to find camping spots in not very wild and naturey areas because everything around the lake has little towns and also has a lot of yurt camps, but we do want one night at the lake, and we also do want to try out our tent finally because we brought it all the way here to Kyrgyzstan, so we might as well use it. So yeah, we're just gonna wing it. We looked up some towns that look like they're small enough so there wouldn't be too much going on. And I've also read that the South Shore is a lot calmer and much more naturey than the North Shore. So we're just betting on that. It's only, as always, pretty much one road that goes there. So I'm quite optimistic that once we leave Kochkor, it should be fairly easy to catch a hitch. And I was right. We waited only for about 5 minutes until we were picked up by Abdul. He drove us all the way to his hometown near Isikul, which was a little miscommunication, but we've decided to just roll with it and ended up eating lunch at this very local place. After lunch, we took a taxi to the main road again and holed up our thumb. It didn't take long before Biak picked us up. Hitchhiking in Kyrgyzstan turned out to be super easy, even though we were 2 people. I think the longest we waited for a ride was around 10 minutes. So you lived here as a child, and your family still lives here?
My family is in Bishkek.
It's so big. It doesn't look like the sea to you?
Потому что он настолько большой, что похож на море.
Because you don't see the end. Thank you. Oh my god, my voice. It was so hard not to cough the whole time in the car because I didn't want to. Bye bye. I'm so cute. Everyone here is so nice. Because I just didn't want to cough all over his car, so I had to suppress the coughing the whole time. And if you haven't done that, you know how hard it is, especially for a 2.5 hour drive with full-on AC, and also the road was quite bad, so it was super dusty most of the time. So I was really struggling, but I think I did an okay job. Anyways, we made it. to Isikul. You probably can't really see because it's super bright. It is now 6:30. We did lose around 1.5 hours in the town. The first guy, Abdul, I think his name was Abdul, dropped us off because we then went out for lunch and also just had some struggles to like get from the city center back to the main road. But yeah, overall very smooth hitchhiking, and we're gonna set up our tent pretty much right here. Look at the mountains. They are so gorgeous. I kind of wish there was nothing, like no yurt camp, no glamping, nothing, just the mountains. Oh. I'm so happy it's gonna be our first night camping, and it's also my very first night wild camping. It's not super wild since we have the yurt camps in the back and people are also still chilling at the beach, but we chose the spot ourselves. Jesus. And I hope there isn't much you can do wrong, because we might have done something wrong. But yeah, I'm also excited for dinner. I can't wait to eat my fried mantis with meat. It tastes, I know I said that before, but it tastes so good. Guys, we trusted the taxi driver, and that was a good call. Also so sweet, they didn't have anything vegetarian, so we communicated only through Google Translate, and she was like, I can give you a complex version side dish. And I was like, okay, what is that? And she was like, rice, pasta, grains, potatoes. And I was like, okay, sure, we take that for my brother. And he literally got like every side dish there is in like miniature form. And just like this cute little collection of side dishes. And everything was very delicious. I'm just so happy to be here. It's so surreal. Like, I'm in Kyrgyzstan with my brother. Like, what life choices did I make that brought me to this point? I'm not mad, I'm just like confused, but not complaining at all. It's fantastic. Okay, so for dinner we have my fried manti with meat, so this is just for me. Then we also bought some bread in Kochkor. And then in the other town we just were, we bought some cream cheese, some cheese, these crackers. And then from Bishkek we still have dried apricots, dried dates, almonds, the kurut that I don't think we're gonna eat. I'm so sorry, it needs some getting used to for sure. And then we also still have some cashews from Germany. So, oh, and an apple and a broken tomato. But yeah, this is dinner. I think we're doing pretty good. And it's getting a little bit cold. Not cold, but I definitely need to put something warmer on in like an hour, I think. Morning, guys. Well, it's actually not morning anymore. It is 1. We have 1 p.m. I've already went for a swim and the water is so nice, but I didn't go in for too long because it is also quite cold and I'm just scared that I will get sicker. So it was just a quick dip, but it was amazing. Our first night in the camp was okay. Not the best, to be honest. I have maybe slept a total of 4 hours and not continuously. But we had some weird encounters here at the beach. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but I thought once everyone left from the beach, we wouldn't see new people until like 6 a.m. earliest, when like maybe the first fishermen started to fish. But reality was that at 11 p.m. 2 cars came and they parked like around 20 meters next to us and started a full-on party. I can't be mad about that because it's a public beach and people can do what they want. It was just a little bit annoying because obviously it was loud, and they stayed until 1 a.m. And then at around 3 a.m. suddenly out of nowhere another car appeared and 5 guys get out of it, and they decided to chill right in front of our tent, which I'm a bit mad about that, to be honest, because the whole beach is empty. We're the only tent here, so I don't really understand why you have to like go to the only spot where other people are sleeping. But again, can't really get mad about that because it's a public beach. It's just that I personally would respect other people's space, especially if there's so much other space left where you could go to. But then, which annoyed me the most and honestly makes me kind of angry, is when they left, they started to like go around our tent and like stood very, very close to it and started to look inside. I couldn't see them because it was obviously dark, but I could just see the silhouettes of people just standing right in front of our tent. And it's just kind of scary if you don't know these people, and these are like 5 probably drunk guys. So I was just in the tent and just pretending to not see them. I didn't react to anything, and then they were starting to like say hello, hello, and started to scream and starting to be very loud and trying to look into our tent. And that made me feel so uncomfortable because I don't know, it's just a weird thing to do at 3 a.m. in the morning if you find a tent. Like, don't do that. But luckily these guys were harmless. They just annoyed us for like around 2 minutes, just stood around our tent, which was obviously very uncomfortable, but then they decided to leave since none of us responded. And yeah, I think they got kind of bored, so they left. But that made me feel a little bit uneasy, and I don't think I fell asleep for the next hour or so, just because I didn't know if more people were coming, if the same people were coming back. So yeah, it wasn't the best sleep we had, but luckily I'm still feeling kind of energized. And tonight we're also gonna camp, but we're gonna camp in a much more secluded spot, so I think we won't have encounters with like other people. So yeah, that's the little camping story of our first night in the tent. And we're gonna stay at the Isikul until probably 3, so around 2 more hours, and then we're gonna hitchhike to the Saska? I'm not sure what it's called actually. To the Fairytale Canyon, and we're gonna camp there one night. We have made it to the entry of the Fairytale Canyon, and we just went to this yurt camp that also has a restaurant and had a little snack and also bought dinner for tonight. We repacked all of our stuff so that we can leave the big backpacks here in the restaurant, and now we're gonna head into the canyon, which is I think a 2-kilometer walk until you reach like the first viewpoint. So that's where we're heading to, and then we're gonna set up camp, and tomorrow morning we're gonna actually explore the canyon. Wow, I look done with the world, because I am. We made it into the valley and we are right at the beginning, and I gotta be honest with you, I am so out of shape. These 2 kilometers were so exhausting for me. It's not even the walking, like the walking is fine, but I'm not used to carry weight with me, and we packed pretty quickly, and I'm sure we overpacked and also didn't pack very smart. So we both carry quite some weight with us, so yeah, that was definitely exhausting to bring it all here. And now we're not even done. We have to find a spot to camp. We don't want to camp like right in the entrance area, because obviously that's first of all very lame, and also probably the first spot that's gonna get like crowded and people are gonna arrive. So We want to go a bit further into the canyon. So that's what we're gonna do now, and hopefully we find something that isn't too steep and crooked, because here obviously it's a lot of hills. So yeah, we're hoping to find a relatively even spot for our tent. And now I have to go down here. It doesn't look very steep, but it is. I'm more scared for my camera than I am for me. Sie reiten geschwind, sie jagen den Wind, weil sie Freunde sind, weil sie Freunde sind.